Kenyans will on Tuesday head to the polls, which will bring an end to President Uhuru Kenyatta's turbulent 2 terms. It will be the country's 7th general election since the resumption of multi-party electoral democracy 30 years ago, and it's the 3rd under the 2010 Constitution. We speak now to Africa Analyst Charles Sinkala. Thank you very much, sir, for availing yourself this afternoon. Kenya is said to be a beacon of democracy, especially when you take a look at its neighbors, Ethiopia, Somalia, Uganda, Tanzania. But there's so much to be said, right, throughout the course of the weekend, rather on the channel. There's been a number of analysts who ventilated a couple of issues like voter apathy, young people who are also not keen on this process, if you will, for the first time in a very long time. Corruption, the economic situation in that country. So is it really the beacon of democracy it's touted to be?
Yeah, well, it is quite unfortunately that, as the population grows in Kenya, a lot of young people are looking for better opportunities than what they are going through at this stage. And as well as the corruption, ethnicity wars, and as well as religion wars, and all these issues are actually preventing the people from working together. But we can hardly see what is happening from the media. But I am here, and I've seen that a lot of people are actually pursuing for the change that they will desire that can bring the development and economical stability in this country. Kenya, yes, it is a beacon of the democracy, especially on the eastern part of Africa, and as well it inspires the rest of the African continent. Historically, we saw what happened in the last elections, which was the judge from the court had to call for a rerun. And I think the democracy in this country is developing.
And electioneering is not a cheap exercise. What is it that you have been hearing or seeing when it comes to the issue of funding?
Yeah, indeed, election funding has been a big challenge in the African continent, especially here in Kenya. You find that those who would like to participate on the political scene in the terms of elections, they are not given a fair opportunity due to the funding, and they fail into canvass and spread the word of democracy or whatever their aspirations are to the citizens of Kenya, and as well as from the government side. Budgets has been a challenge in terms of making sure that there's voter sensitization and as well as voter education to making sure that those who are voting, they are voting for the best leaders that will look after their constituencies and their aspirations within the country. These are the challenges that have been also identified by the many analysts around the world, especially the Institute of Security Studies there in South Africa, that if elections continues at the trajectory of low budgets, such as what is happening at the current, dispensation, it actually opens up doors for those investors who would like to install a government that will be subservient to them. And this is what we've been actually seeing, especially here in Kenya. Some opposition political parties, including those who are in government, have been funded from outside, not only serving the outside international community and those funders, they neglect the indigenous people who are subjected to poverty each and every day.
When you take a look at Kenya's neighbors, how closely will they be watching this election? Rather, how should we understand its relationship with its neighbors?
Yeah, I think there's nothing much new to the elections tomorrow here in Kenya, Nairobi, and many parts of the surrounding areas. But I think many of the people around I'm in Kenya. Yeah, so many people around here in Nairobi and the parts of Kenya, would like to see a change in the governance. They would like to see that there's not much of a development in the country. They would like to see the end to corruption, which has been rampant, not only in Kenya, but the rest of the African continent and elsewhere in the world. They would like the neighbor to demonstrate that indeed what was in the past is in the past, and they would like a renewal for only to give an opportunity to the citizens of Kenya.
Africa analyst Charles Sinkala joining us from the East African nation of Kenya. Thank you very much for that update.